Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. As Stage 5 rapidly approaches, Crimsix has had a fair few words to say on OpTic Chicago. The fact that they're probably better online than they are on LAN, but also when they were playing them in scrims just the other day, they happened to be stealing all of their search and destroy strategies. Intrigued to take your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you were new as always, I greatly appreciate it. Already outside the channel, thank you very much indeed for doing that. First of all, wanted to go through this that Chrome pointed out, Pro League debuts for the last 4 seasons. This is pretty remarkable. Of course, back in the day, there was a bigger league, which meant that probably this could happen more often. But still, I mean, this past season, we've seen a lot of players in a similar boat. So we can see back in World War II, that's when Dashy, Kenny, FeLo, Decimate, Alex Bevels, all these type of guys, you see a lot of the French guys as well. This is when they made their like technical pro debut, even though guys like Whalers at the time were already veterans of the scene, but they hadn't technically played in the pro league before this time. So that's kind of why they're included here, which there's not too many other ways to do it. And of course, you can look at Rookie of the Year in a very different way. Black Ops 4, though, was, I mean, this is crazy, right? Look at all these players that came into the Pro League for the very first time. Modern Warfare had a lot of new ones as well. Cold War also has plenty of new ones also. So cool to see how this is trending over time. Feels like the last couple of seasons have really been like the rise of the rookies, but looking back in a way, World War II and Black Ops 4, there's also a very similar situation going on here, right? So obviously some players that have been around for donkey's years at this point, some players who are very much new to the scene, even guys like Simp and aBeZy and Cellium even, they only made their pro debut only a few years ago, and Shotzzy only last year, of course, and are they, you know, right at the top of Call of Duty at their present time. And interesting, actually, Crone says as well that there's some players missing from this list, like Blad's in World War II, and in Black Ops 4, you can consider way more players. For example, like Method Sick, Vortex, Sakri, Parzelli, Jet Li, all these players that were on like the Midnight Esports team, the Heretic squad for a time, the Denial Esports team, right, the French guys, Natche, Mayhem aBeZy, so this was the team of the Accelerate Gaming team as it was, with Believe, Mayhem aBeZy, Brafizi, Fastballer, and Modern Warfare there was Panda as well. So many players that in Black Ops 4 especially started coming onto the scene that we hear about sometimes nowadays. aBeZy especially, right, because he went on to do particularly well on Enigma 6 of the World Championship that year, and I was thinking he could have been a key target for Paris Legion to go for when they initially decided to pick up the roster that they had this past season, but well, they didn't go down that route most certainly, and as Mork says, 33 plus in CWL versus 21 in the CDL, I guess does kind of show with the more limited league that it's more difficult to break into the upper echelons, despite all the talent that these guys most certainly have. So, Dallas Empire were pretty excited, of course, on the 6th of July. Yesterday, they do tweet out, live crowds are going to be back in business, as we talked about in quite some detail earlier today. Now, Dallas were one of the teams that were, I think, clearly much better on LAN than they were online. Crimsix has talked about, we did discuss very briefly earlier today, the fact that, yeah, he feels like he needs the pressure to compete, and Dallas were way better, which was maybe somewhat of a surprise to a lot of people, right, given the, given all the talk, right, the last couple of seasons, that they were going to be way better online than they were on LAN. And Crimsix talks about in this clip in just a couple of seconds here how ironic it is in a way that they were always talked about as being the onliners, and guess, well, who actually becomes the better team when they go to the LAN environment? It's, maybe somewhat surprising to a fair few people. And he says right here, it's that time again, and it really was ILLey and Crimsix, two of the key players, I think, that when we went to LAN for that Stage 4 major, which other players actually improved drastically going to LAN? Octane's one of them, certainly. I think that Sasha looked particularly good. There was maybe a few other players as well, but ILLey and Crimsix had great events that we really haven't seen from them online. And, maybe that's something that we may well see again, as, he says right here, it is that time again, about to get Stage 5 underway, but also the Stage 5 major, not too far around the corner at this point. So, Rambo Ray does a very interesting thing, first of all, I wanted to share, with regards to the Huke change, where he hasn't really talked about this in any great detail, to be honest, until now, but he talks about, for about a minute or so, that I'll throw up on screen for you guys in just a second, saying like, look, we didn't make this change because we're stupid, like, we're not dumb, we're not, all this type of stuff. I felt like my team was trending in a poor direction, the rest of the team thought the same, therefore we made the Huke change. Like, this wasn't some sort of idiotic move like people were making it out to be at the time.
There's a lot of things that like team changes in COD happen for a reason, and like people need to understand that, like, and this is not, I'm trying to do this in a non-egoistical matter, but like, we're not stupid. Like, this sounds crazy to say, but like, I think I've worked my reputation enough in this community to really kind of showcase that like we're not just going to do something out of spite or for the wrong reasons. We're going to do something because our team isn't successful. We need to change. And like again, as a coach, I was seeing my team trend in the wrong direction in a way that was very alarming. And then on top of that, the players were really like, hey, like, this needs to change, and so on and so forth. So like, yeah, like, it's people that gave us flack, and like the tweets that I saw that I didn't respond to, but the tweet that I saw saying like, you guys don't know what you're doing, like, Kyler's your best player, like all that stuff, dude, like that was disheartening. That was really hard to take as an individual, because it's just like we're not We're not dumb.
Now, the second part of this discussion is what Crimsix has to say on Zoomer's stream just a few days ago. Very entertaining entirety of this stream, to be honest. I'll throw the link to the YouTube VOD down in the description box below if you guys would like to check the entire thing out. But Crimsix talked in quite some detail about, yes, they were playing OpTic, they were playing up against Los Angeles Thieves, scrimming against them. They had pretty good results against them, but against OpTic Chicago, it wasn't the same. They got completely bodied in scrims, and Crimsix initially was like, yeah, maybe we're actually way better on LAN than we are online, and maybe the other way around for OpTic, right? He effectively implies it. Doesn't go fully the way to say that OpTic are onliners, but the Zoomer kind of tempts him into it or whatever. But then he goes a couple of minutes later to talk about, yeah, they played a best of 11 against them, which is tend to be what the pros do at this point. They'll play best of 11 matches, as in, they'll play all the respawns, then they'll throw some search and destroys into the mix as well. They'll play all of that stuff against the other pro teams. That's how they tend to get the best practice, at least practice some search and destroy stuff. And he said that the first search and destroy effectively they played up against OpTic Chicago, they'd just stolen all their search and destroy strats they did at the previous major, I imagine is what he's describing, and well, therefore they decided not to try for the rest of it in the searches so that they would not give away any more information.
Smoke LAT, right? Okay, we didn't really smoke them, but no, we beat them. We didn't smoke them.
So it's close? Like, you guys split maps, basically?
No. 70-30.
70-30? Okay.
70-30.
How they looking? How's LAT looking? They look good with John? They look good? Are they...
Oh, yeah, they're way better.
Oh, they're way better? Oh, bet.
Yeah. And then we played Chicago, and I thought it was going to... Tommy, I'm going to be honest, bro.
Yeah.
Not good.
You guys got shot by Chicago?
Yeah, Scump went in the game chat. He said spit him cheeks.
Yeah, I mean, dude, they're way better than you guys right now.
Wait. Yeah. So you want to know what the ironic part of this? The whole irony?
What?
Like, I'm talking like the most ironic.
What?
You remember how they were saying we were better online?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not going to go there, bro.
You already went there. You already said it.
No, I didn't say You're not baiting me. I mean...
You think that OpTic Chicago's better online. That's what you think.
No, I didn't say that.
Chicago, did you guys win a map?
Yeah. Couple. But I mean, it was like a best of 11. And, dude, we played one SnD, and we literally watched them copy, like, play by play. Like, all 4 players literally copied exactly what the we did. And then we just threw every search from then on out.
Why do you think they're better online?
No, it's just I don't know. Maybe we just suck online, dude. Like,
So what do you guys think about this from a couple of different perspectives, right? Of course, this is what Formal tweets out back in February now. Kids are so much better online, which we're pretty sure is maybe referring to the Dallas Empire, right? But at the same time, there's also this search and destroy discussion. Now, Atlanta FaZe brought in Tubar Kirklord, of course, to be their search and destroy analyst. And obviously, haven't really had that. There's been quite a lot of discussion from the likes of Nameless recently saying, like, look, if OpTic brought in some more like heads, I suppose, to actually think about and help them prepare for games, because Sender certainly has to do a lot for their team. And how much like search and destroy, analyst type stuff do they really have on their team? How much in depth do they really go into that? Where obviously it's a very key game mode, especially in the best of 9. You're going to have to try and beat probably a team like FaZe in to get over line with 4 search and destroys in there. So of course, Tubar could have been a guy that they brought back. They had him, of course, on the Huntsman last season alongside the OpTic guys. But still, this is maybe a bit of a concern for OpTic, I think, because if you're going in against, you're going in against Dallas, you've stolen all their search strats, and potentially you've played really well against them in scrims. I mean, clearly they bodied them. Then like how much more like in-depth strategizing do you then do going forward, right? Because if I'm Dallas now, I'm going back to the drawing board and I'm saying, okay, OpTic are just using all our strats that we pulled out of the previous major. Let's come up with counter strats to that, and therefore we're going to be able to counter strat them next time we actually play them at a proper event. And like as Crimsix was saying, they didn't really try against them in the final few search and destroys of that best of 11 series, just so they wouldn't give away anything else, which is honestly kind of an interesting dynamic certainly to that scrim set. So who knows, right? But this is the concern, I guess, if I'm OpTic Chicago, that I've come up against Dallas, I've had a great series result against them in terms of these best 11s, winning a load of search and destroys. Now I'm super confident in my search, and then things might go downhill, because we very much saw it at the major, where it was on standoff search and destroy especially. Throughout the entirety of stage 4, OpTic were very good at that map. Then they played up against Dallas on it at the major and got completely destroyed, because Dallas just came to play. They knew exactly what OpTic were going to do, counter-strated everything pretty spectacularly. The same thing might be going on for OpTic now. They then looked back at what Dallas did that time, and then started to try and bring those things into their own gameplay, but then maybe Dallas Dallas can go back to the drawing board again. No guarantees they'll match up with each other. Of course, on the major, they won't be playing each other in groups, right? Because they are in separate groups. OpTic are in Group A, Dallas are over there in the Group B side of things. But that's certainly something to keep your eyes on, I think, going forwards. This, just to finish off the video, I thought was very interesting indeed. I'm not sure if this necessarily applies to the Los Angeles Thieves Call of Duty team, but as Nate says right here from John Robinson as well, mental health was one thing I struggled with most before I started 100 Thieves. So happy we can offer everyone a week off to celebrate all the hard work up to this point and have a great reset leading up to the second half of the year. Normalized time off work. So really interesting. 100 Thieves are just giving like an entire week break for their entire team. Whether that applies to their COD players or not, I kind of doubt, right? Because I'm sure they want their COD players to keep on playing, or whatever the case may be. The players, I'm sure, would just play COD anyway, so probably not too much you're going to do to stop them doing that, to be honest. But this kind of coincides with what Brian Saint was talking about. Wonder when the grind mentality will fade from professional esports. As long as it's around, players will constantly be retiring at young ages due to burnout and injury. Up-and-coming players need to be incentivized to work out and be healthy before it comes too late, and their unhealthy lifestyles become habitual. Once these habits are ingrained, they become extremely hard to break. When there's pressure that you need to be playing as much as you can, when that is just straight up not the truth. So Slasher says a pretty interesting reply. If you're referring to just actually playing the game a lot when you say grind, I agree with you. However, in my opinion, all the great people who have the grind mentality understand that there's health, there's proper sleep, a load of other things other than just the grind. And the same says right here, just playing the game as much as humanly possible is what I'm referring to. The stigma that if you're not doing anything besides that, you don't want it enough. Egg says, like, who legitimately thinks that? You know, Pat, there's a large number of players that average less than 500 steps a day. We see from Spark right here, he gets the 936 up, and Parasite with the 170 so far. So not ideal here at all, and I certainly would like to see this a little bit more normalized, that players should actually do their best to be healthy outside of just playing the game 16 hours a day or whatever, because in the long term, it's probably not going to be good for your health and also your in-game performance. But intrigued to hear your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. Really upset the YouTube algorithm like you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and upgrade the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you much as always, take care, and I will see you next time.